I'm here in the warehouse and I found Zach. Zach, please tell me, what is all this stuff?
So this stuff is actually what we call truss. We basically use it on every show we do. If it's to put lights into the air, or if it's to actually create the entire stage, we can make this into basically anything we want. It's like a big Meccano set.
So how does all this truss go together?
So there's many different ways, but it generally boils down to what we call eggs, pins, and clips. It's really easy put together. Basically, so it has tapered holes on either side, which line up with our truss. Pop it in there, you get your chip. Give it a little tap with your truss hammer. And put the pin in the back where there is a little hole to secure it.
I work in the office. Can I have a shot?
Absolutely, go for it. Just make sure it's nice and seated.
Then what?
Now you're going to get one of your pins.
Pop it in here?
Pop it in, yep. It might need a tap, so you can use the truss hammer.
Odd looking hammer, tell me more.
So these are actually copper hammers. As truss is made of aluminium, don't want to damage the truss, so using copper helps negate those issues. Perfect.
Then one of these pins?
Yep. Now it's nice and secure, can't fall out. Easy as that.
Easy. So if we want to build a different sort of shape structure, how do we go about doing that?
So it's probably a good time to talk about the different shapes we have. So this is a dado, it's a corner section. This gives us the ability to build off on different angles, which means we can make things like cubes, we can make big pyramid stages, which we've done in the past. We could basically make any sort of shape or size you want.
So that's really useful for things like exhibitions, conferences, all those.
Absolutely, we use them in every show we do.
Nice. So how do we get all this truss and the structure up there?
Plenty of different ways, especially if we're doing a ground system, we tend to use wind-up stands, which are the things behind you here. Those are the PYTCH. It's like a big car jack, you just wind it up. There's 3 stages, so it can actually go over 4 meters high.
Wow. Okay, so what is this heavy bit of equipment?
So this is a chain hoist. These are very heavy. These can pick up to a ton, 2 ton, depending on what ones you buy. This is how we would get all of our truss and other things that were flying into the roof.
So obviously this one's electric?
Yeah, so these are our electric chain hoists. The beauty with these is I can link them all together and control them from the ground, so I can bring everything up in one go.
Nice, keeping everything level.
Exactly.
What if there's no power on site?
Well, we actually have a manual version of this, the old school way of doing it, which is just human powered. We can use that in a field anywhere, really.
Right. So obviously you've just noticed, yeah, I'm not going to lift that up. I'll do my back in. This is extremely heavy.
It is, and this doesn't even have the chain attached to the motor yet. The chain is currently in the box. When these are in the sky, they actually sit into a bag. So these are twice as heavy by the end of it. This is why it's so important that we do all the safety checks to make sure it doesn't just fall out of the air.
So does this structure always have to hang from the ceiling, or are there other options?
Not at all. We can do a ground-based system. We can make some legs that then the truss will sit on. So you can make these into any sort of shapes and sizes.
So that's very similar to what we have set up in the virtual venue?
Yeah, it's exactly the same.
So why would we have to ground stack it instead of flying it, say?
So a perfect example is when we go on site, we do a lot of big LED walls. Certain venues just can't take that load capacity in their rigging points. So stuff like truss, we can ground stack it, make sure it's safe and it can take big serious loads.
So Zach, what have we just built and what's this?
Okay, so we've just built a really basic structure. This is just like a goalpost structure. Over in our studio next door in VV, we have basically this already built and we hang our LED walls off it. So I'll show you how we would do that.
Cool.
So this is a sling. Most important part about this sling is this little blue tag. This gives us all the information about the sling, its load capacities and safe load. Before I put it up, I do a full visual inspection just to make sure there's no tears in any of the fibers and just make sure it looks all good. Because we're not really worried about height currently, I can just do a really simple loop over the top of the truss and make sure they're not touching, stops any snagging and any movement. And it would just sit over the truss like this. To go forward on this, we would then need to attach our LED wall, which we would use something like this, which we call flybars. The LED will actually just get clipped into this, locked in, and then we can attach it to our slings.
How would we attach that?
So in this, in this case, we would use this. This is a bow shackle. These are just shackles. There's a few different types. Another common one is a D shackle. The difference between a D shackle and a bow shackle is a D shackle can only have 2 points of load, which means they can only have one on the bottom, one on the top, where a bow shackle can actually have 2 points of load here and one on the pin. So when it comes to a sling that needs 2 points in this bow, I can put it this side, make sure it's all straight and level, and then our fly bar can be attached on the pin.
That's really interesting about the LED and being able to hang it from that sling, but what else can the sling be used for?
So it's a perfect time to go back to a question you asked earlier, how we would get this in the air. So if we are using chain hoists, the chain has to attach to something. So the chain hoist would attach to our bow shackle, and this strap would attach to our truss.
Thanks, Zach, for taking some time of your really busy day to teach me and all of you a little bit more about truss and rigging and how it's used in the live events industry. If you're interested about what we do here at PYTCH, hit that subscribe button for some more videos.